Hi friends, thanks so much for joining me today. So I would like to go over my garden with you this year and just try to figure out where I'm going to put everything. So normally I do a small garden here at home and then do a bigger garden down at my parents'. But now we've moved some animals around and I have more room to do a garden here. So I would like to figure out where I'm going to go ahead and put everything this year. Now the garden is in winter disaster. You know how bad it gets when you're just done with the garden in the fall and you don't get to clean it up even though you want to? Well, that's where we're at. So let's go ahead and look at each of the beds and see what we think we might want to put in them. Obviously, first thing with this bed is the cat. Does anybody have any great ideas about how to keep the cat out of your garden? This is the kid's kitten. This is the first year that I've had to deal with a cat in the garden, and boy, does she make a mess. Here I have a rose bush. I'm not sure if it's going to live or not. I'm not sure if it lived through the winter or not. The other one over here in this bed has shoots on it already. So I'm not sure. Normally in this bed I put peas against the back to shade the lettuce because the sun comes up here in the mornings. And then I put lettuce, different stages of it all through here. But this year I got green stalks, so I'm thinking I'll probably put my lettuce in those. So I'm not really sure what to put in this bed this year because it won't have any shade. I thought about filling it with peppers. Since peppers like to touch each other, I thought maybe I would fill it up with peppers. I brought home more dirt for the kids and I to fill it up to get it back up to its height. So I think I'm going to put peppers in this one. But then that brings us to the next bed. Our next bed is my biggest bed that I have. And last year I put tomatoes all down the trellis. And then I planted more lettuce in the shade of the tomatoes. But now this year over in the big garden, I would like to do the tomatoes. I thought about doing cucumbers up this, maybe even small squashes. Let me know what you think. In the pots that are sitting around, I normally put my herbs, but I'm not really sure this year because I have the green stalks. I'm not sure if I'm just going to plant a lot in the green stalks or only lettuce. So this bed right here, I normally plant radishes and carrots in. This year, I'm thinking of planting it all radishes and planting one of my smaller beds in carrots. But I'm not sure because I also want to try bulbing onions. I've never been able to get onions with a good bulb. This bed right here that I'm standing in front of I put strawberry plants in it last year. So let's look at them and see how they survived the winter. Not too shabby. Here's one and here's one. Let's get this weed out of here. This year I'd like to buy a few more plants and get it a little fuller and then hopefully fill up this bed but keep them confined. So this is where my large in-ground garden is going to be this year. Previous years, our horses were in here and then our chickens were in here. We had our pigs in here for about 2 weeks. So, very well fertilized. Very well fertilized. We still need to break down the pig catchment where we caught them so we could load them and take out their little shed. But for the most part, besides, I'm going to till it this year and then just see how it goes from there. I would like to run my rows this way in here to try to stop some of the flow of water as it just washes down the hill. This year in here, the plan is to plant corn, pumpkins, squash, potatoes, okra, and tomatoes. I'm not sure if I'm going to... It's just the watermelons and the pumpkins that take up so much space. So I'm not sure how I'm going to fit it all in here. I used to have a garden that the rows were 32 foot long, and then I had 120 feet. I had 4 foot in between my rows, but I had lots and lots of rows. So I'm hoping to get around the same space out of this. Now my rows themselves will be longer, or I'll do 2 shorter rows and have a walkway down the middle. My kids have like big lawn wagons to haul produce on, so I'm not sure which one I want to do this year. If I want to do just one big long row and then put bigger walkways on each end. I just can't decide. So, but I need to figure it out soon because we will be bringing home the tiller to till this up. So what are you all going to plant in your garden this year? What does your garden space look like? I would love to see it. I will hope you'll share it in the comments below. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you are inspired to plan out your garden for this coming year.